Welcome to this exploration of biblical wisdom on the faith of Abraham. When we look at his life and story, one thing stands out: his unwavering belief in God's promises. As it's written in Romans 4:3, Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. This verse highlights a crucial aspect of Abraham's character that helped him navigate life's challenges. Those who may not be familiar, the book of Genesis tells us that God called Abraham out of his comfort zone in Ur, promising him a land, descendants, and a global impact. But here's the thing. At first, it seemed like an impossible dream. Abraham was old, and Sarah was barren. Yet he chose to trust God's promises despite the uncertainty. Abraham's faith is often cited as an example for us today. As we face our own struggles and doubts, we can learn from his unwavering confidence in a divine plan. By exploring Abraham's story, we'll discover how his belief helped him overcome obstacles and eventually become the father of nations. In this series, we'll delve into specific aspects of Abraham's faith journey, from his initial call to his willingness to sacrifice Isaac. We'll examine what it means to truly believe God and how that can impact our own lives. So, let's embark on this journey together and uncover the wisdom hidden within the biblical account of Abraham's incredible faith. As we begin, keep in mind that faith is not about having all the answers or seeing a clear path ahead. It's about trusting God even when it feels like everything else is telling us to doubt. And that's exactly what Abraham did. He chose to believe, and it changed the course of history. Biblical context in key passages: the phrase, "Do not be afraid," is scattered throughout Scripture, but its significance becomes clearer when viewed in the context of Abraham's life. For instance, Genesis 15:1-6 tells us that God appeared to Abraham and said, "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield. Your reward will be very great." This promise was reiterated in Isaiah 41:10, where it's written, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be frightened, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." These words of encouragement give us a glimpse into the kinds of assurances Abraham received from God. 1. Similarly, in Psalm 56:3-4, David writes, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you, in God, whose word I praise. In God I trust. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me?" The frequency and variety of these reassurances demonstrate that fearlessness was not a one-time occurrence for Abraham, but rather a recurring theme throughout his life. It's as if God was constantly reminding him that he had nothing to worry about. It's also worth noting that the phrase, "Do not be afraid," is often linked with other biblical concepts, such as faith and trust. For example, Romans 10:17 says, "Faith comes from hearing the message, and the message is heard through the word about Christ." In this light, we can see that Abraham's unwavering faith was closely tied to his ability to trust God's promises. This relationship between fearlessness and trust has profound implications for us today. By emulating Abraham's example and choosing to believe in God's goodness, we too can experience the peace that passes understanding. Meaning and key themes: the phrase, "Abraham believed God," Romans 4:3, encapsulates a crucial aspect of his character, one that helped him navigate life's challenges with unwavering confidence. At its core, Abraham's faith was about trusting in God's promises despite the uncertainties surrounding them. This trust wasn't based on what he could see or achieve himself, but rather on the strength and goodness of God. In essence, Abraham believed God had a plan that would ultimately lead to his descendants becoming a great nation. Genesis 12:3. 2. This understanding allowed him to look beyond his circumstances and focus on the promise. One significant key theme in Abraham's story is the concept of faith as a choice. He chose to believe, even when it seemed impossible, and that decision had far-reaching consequences. As we navigate our own struggles and doubts, we can learn from Abraham's example by choosing to trust God's promises, just as he did. This choice is not about having all the answers or seeing a clear path ahead, but rather about trusting in God, even when everything else tells us to doubt. By emulating Abraham's faith, we too can experience the peace that passes understanding and find strength in God's goodness. Another vital aspect of Abraham's story is the role of faith in his relationships. His trust in God allowed him to form deep connections with others, including his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot. In turn, these relationships brought joy, support, and a sense of belonging into his life. Abraham's faith also played a significant part in shaping his legacy as the father of nations. Genesis 17:4-8. Practical application today. So, how can we apply Abraham's example to our lives today? Firstly, it's essential to understand that faith is not just about head knowledge, but also about heart application. It's about choosing to trust God, even when the circumstances seem impossible. To do this effectively, we need to cultivate a deep understanding of God's character and promises. This involves studying Scripture, praying regularly, and seeking guidance from trusted mentors or spiritual leaders. By doing so, we can develop a robust faith that will sustain us through life's challenges. Secondly, it's crucial to recognize that faith is not a one-time decision, but rather an ongoing choice. We must continue to trust God even when the road ahead seems uncertain. This might involve embracing new opportunities, forgiving others, or letting go of our own fears and doubts. In summary, Abraham believed God with unwavering confidence, trusting in his promises despite the uncertainty surrounding them. By emulating his example, we too can experience the peace that passes understanding and find strength in God's goodness. Conclusion: as we reflect on Abraham's unwavering faith, it becomes clear that believing God is not just a historical event, but a timeless principle for living today. By choosing to trust in God's goodness and promises, we can navigate life's challenges with confidence and hope. Abraham's story reminds us that faith is not about having all the answers or seeing a clear path ahead. It's about trusting in God even when everything else tells us to doubt. It's this choice, to believe, to trust, to have faith, that can change our lives forever. As we continue on our own journeys of faith, may we draw inspiration from Abraham's unwavering confidence. May we remember that Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. Romans 4:3. May we too choose to believe in the goodness and promises of God, no matter what lies ahead. Isaiah 41:10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be frightened, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand."